says we're being live streamed.
Yes. Got it.
So cool. I just want to get over there myself and jump in the chat and make sure the peeps can hear us. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Can you hear us? Question mark. Okay, we'll give folks a second to jump in and get there, and then we'll dive in ourselves. Hey, Denise. Très jolie Benoit. Hey, Melcy. Venice Ceballos. It's great to have you guys here. And Mel says she can hear. Lana, can you say something as well?
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Wonderful. All right, cool. Well, I'm pumped. This is going to be great. Yeah, you're welcome, Melcy. This has been so much fun for me and such a gift for me to be able to share this with you guys. I've absolutely loved every single interview. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm in like my zone when I'm interviewing people and pulling information together in this way. So thank you guys for allowing me to do this. This was a bit of a like 5th anniversary celebration for the channel because this summer the channel turns 5, and we're all at this wonderful turning point here in the collective around manifestation in 2023. So I thought it was apropos to celebrate it in some way. Welcome, Kylie. Great to have you. Kylie has linked everything up here in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and pin that so that people can have that there. Thank you, Kylie, for doing that. You guys can find Lana in the pinned message and the message Kylie just shared. My name is Kay Moon, and I am a Western astrologer, and this is Creator Conference, a week-long celebration of manifestation and empowerment with coaches, healers, and speakers on the topic of how to manifest your best life with regards to anything that you want. We are in the middle of it, and we have a few interviews left, which I'm really thrilled and excited about, and joined today by special guest Lana. She's got her own channel, Lana Healer, Medicine Woman. And Lana provides sacred space for healing and integrating the divine feminine and sacred masculine here on planet Earth. She provides energy healing and spiritual teachings for everyone, and in particular, supports starseeds, intuitives, healers, twin flames, light workers, the divine counterpart collective, and really being able to ground their power here in the physical form. Lana provides healing and guidance on the spiritual path and awakening process. Her workshops and monthly sessions for the new and the full moon, outstanding. She encourages light within and spiritual growth through self-love and awareness. She's a master healer, and you guys are going to get the chance to experience that in a moment, as well as a spiritual teacher. And she's going to talk us through the subtle energies of manifestation and how to work with those today. She's been assisting others since she was very young, and it's been an integral part of her path and mission to support people through ancient healing techniques, energy medicine, shamanism, and light language, toning, energy and light body work, as well as healing in the field through color, frequency, and calibration of the physical and etheric bodies and fields. I'm telling y'all, she's a powerhouse. And when you really let her into your energetic field, you will have the experience of bliss, heaven on earth through her work. It's wonderful work. And anyone who can work with her, I encourage you to work with her. She's that good. Lana, thank you for being here. It's a treat to do this with you.
It is for me as well, Kay. So happy to be here, to be joining again. I love all your conferences, the work that you do, and I love you also as a person. So it's
Love you
wonderful to
too,
be with
sweetheart.
you.
Yes, that love is mutual. Thank you. All right. So, my dear, I told you we were up to Creator Conference, and you said, yes, I'm there. Count me in.
Yes.
I shared that
Yeah.
we were going to talk about manifestation, and you came right back and you said, people are ready. People are ready to understand the subtle energies of what that means. Can you bring us into this, the subtle
Yeah,
energies of manifestation?
of course. I mean, there is so much about manifestation out there and so many books, and it became like, I think, a very popular subject. But I think it also became a very stressful one for some people who have been trying to manifest or have been following these books or the teachings on the books or certain teachers and particular teachers, and when they don't seem to find that they manifest as quickly as they're supposed to, or they plainly aren't able to manifest, they think that it's because they're doing it wrong, but it's actually because there are these more like subtle places where we can go through manifestation or with manifestation that are often not talked about. And so they're missing in these like bigger teachings, let's say. So, and many times they are like the missing piece to actually unlocking that, and for people to be able to really tap into their divine creation. So when I say their divine creation, and I do this, it's part of embodying, right? Because many times we think or we see manifestation as something that is outside and that we're supposed to sort of like get to, like something that is far away and outside of us. But it's actually not. Like the principle of everything is the more we go within and we create from within, the easier and the faster things will manifest in the physical. So of course, these are very like broad subjects, but I know you guys have been diving into a lot of this. So I wanted to bring these three key aspects that maybe are a little bit more hidden within these teachings and just go through them with you. Also, if there are questions as we go, we can also answer a couple. And then we'll just bring healing for all these different aspects and integration at the end of the session for everybody who's here who wants to heal this within themselves. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. So, okay, so first aspect that I want to talk about, and if you guys have been with me at some point or my channel, I talk about this, or I have talked about this a little bit, but not from the exclusive aspect of manifestation. So, of course, for me to speak about this, it required me to go through the experience, right? And to try and figure out energetically, especially when I was at a point that I wanted to create and manifest and basically change my life. These are the things that I discovered and that I integrated and that allowed me to create what I am living now, which is a lot of what I wanted to create at that point, right? So one of the first things is being aware of the law of karma. Mm-hmm. And I know it's also a big word and it's used a lot. But many times when we come in as a soul, we have a certain degree of, let's say, like karmic debt, or there's like this scale of things, right? And for example, when we talk about, let's say, abundance or living the life that we want to live materially, for example, we do come into this life with a certain balance of, let's say, material abundance. Mm-hmm. And so for some people, they come in and they become millionaires, I don't know, like in 10 years or 13 years. There are millionaires that are like 13 years old now and really crazy stuff happening. But it's not that it happened out of the blue or that they were just lucky, but it's also part of the progress of the soul and part of what was already karmically there before the soul even incarnated. So when we come here, through using the law of karma, we can actually better our lives in all senses, in all ways, the more we give freely of that which we want to receive. So, for example, when I started my path, and I was a young student with my spiritual teacher, and he would tell me like, okay, if you want to serve and you want to help, you have to start by doing service, and creating your own dharma. So service, or seva, how they call it, it's like doing this service that comes from your heart. It doesn't matter in what way, but just giving of your time, your money, your efforts, whatever it is that you have to give at that moment in time, and to give it freely and abundantly and joyfully. When I started, I did a whole year of service where all the people who would come to me, I would just, for healing, I would take all patients. And of course, there was this exchange because I was learning as I was also receiving people. But what I realized was that I was activating this feeling of, and this energy of reciprocity. I give, I receive, I give, I receive. And this is also activating the feminine and masculine polarity within us. The masculine gives, offers, and the feminine receives. So when we start to talk about creation, just like a project or a baby or a seed, anything that comes to life, it needs both the feminine and masculine aspects. So the more we become aware of that and we allow our feminine energy and our masculine energy to flourish and to complete their tasks, let's say, to do what they came here to do, to support us, the more they start to work in tandem or in union, they start to work together. And then the easier it is for us to create things. So going back to the law of karma, one of the things that I always say is we have to be able to give to the world what the world has never given to us. And that is because if you want to see something, especially for people who are in the spiritual path or spiritually aware, if you want to see transformation in the outside, in the material, you have to be able to shift and transform from within. And many times, if you want to receive something, you have to be able to give it. So, for example, there are people who want to have a more joyful life. If you have been living a very perhaps sad, or you have been in a depression, which has to do with a lot of things energetically. I won't go into that. But if you want to start to stay experiencing more joy and more ease in your life, you have to be able to start from within and to start giving you those moments of joy. And if you're not able to give them to yourself right away, the key, or the one of the first keys to unlock that, is to actually give that to someone else. I don't know if you have seen, or if you know people who work with homeless people, or who go and help at the kitchens where they give food, or the people who do like rescue work, or Doctors Without Borders, or all these types of organizations. People who are there, the more they are there, if you follow their life, you can start to see how their life starts to become more and more and more blessed, because they are activating that dharma within them. They are activating their capacity to give. And so the universe is like, oh, they are giving, let's give to them. And many times through, like Western thought or rationality, we think, oh, if I don't have much money, I'm just going to save and really attach to it or not spend it, because if I do, then I'm just going to be left without, right? It can be money, it can be love, it can be a relationship, it can be joy, whatever it is that you're holding on to or that you believe that is scarce in your life or that has some part of scarcity. The more you treat it as something that is going to be finite, that is going to like become empty, let's say, then the more that actually creates that karma. So it has the opposite effect. The more you hold on to it, the less you receive from the universe, or the less you receive from universal laws. So one of the ways to start activating that is, even if you don't have much, let's say, or if you don't have much money, whatever you have, always, like one of the laws that I work with all my life, and well, since I went into a spiritual path, is from anything that you gain, it doesn't matter how much you gain, always give 10% to a charity cause. Always donate 10% of that. Even if you feel like you're not able to afford it, that in itself is creating prosperity karma for you, because the fact that you're helping people, it will have a ripple effect energetically, and you will not only be able to help one people, but you will be able to help perhaps a whole family or a whole community or a whole center with that small 10% that you have. And then the more they receive that prosperity karma, the more their lives are blessed, the more they're blessed with abundance, with resources, with food, with money, with shelter, with safety, the more your life will be blessed with all of those things. So we are here as creators. We are not here to copy paste things or to just, receive what is happening outside and just take it as it is. We can completely transform and change the reality that we're living in, depending on what we believe and depending on how we are acting on those belief systems. Just today, I posted on my Instagram a story of a little cartoon. It's like a cat, and the cat is in his bathtub, and it just says, a legend just says, like, there are no rules. If I want to eat my sweets in the bathroom, I can, because there are no rules. And I found it very cute because of the cartoon, but also because it's like reclaiming that sense of freedom. Like, I am a creative being. I am sovereign. I am free. So I'm free to create my own rules. If I want to have a wonderful job, if I want, work to be easy and to be playful and to be magical, then I can just manifest that. I can start to believe that and say to myself every day, my work is magical. My work is amazing. My work is wonderful. And then I start to program my brain and start to release the old programs that said, oh, you have to suffer at work, or work is terrible, or I don't like my work. All those things that you have been telling yourself, we have the ability to deprogram and reprogram whatever we want. And the things that we have to reprogram before we actually see it manifest. And usually people are waiting for the opposite. They're like, okay, when I see that there's magic at work, then I'm going to believe that there is magic at work. But that's not the way that it works. You have to be able to create it and believe it, because what you believe in here starts to translate out there. And the more you practice, do spiritual practice, the more you meditate, the more you connect to yourself, the more you sit in silence, you pray, whatever it is that you do to connect to God, the more, the bigger your chakras become, the stronger your energetic system becomes, and the stronger your capacity to manifest. So it is normal to struggle a little bit in the beginning. It is normal that things take a little bit of time to manifest, but it doesn't mean that they are not that they are not on their way. It means that you need to practice a little bit more to dust off those manifestation skills. And then once you get the gist of it, it's way easier and you are way more careful with what you're telling yourself about things and with what your programs and belief systems are, because you start to realize that those are the ones who have conditioned your life. Not the universe, not God, not other people, not anything else. It was how you interpreted all of that in your reality. Mm-hmm. And of course, also programming that came from your family. For that, we do healing, we do meditation, you can work with hypnosis. There are many techniques that you can do, but the fundamental one is to be in that awareness of who you are and that you are the one who's creating the rules. Not your boss, not your work, not your colleagues, not your friends, not your lover, not your partner, not your family or your parents. You are. So you have a huge responsibility, but once you take it, it becomes divine power. When we avoid responsibility, that's when we are actually avoiding our power to create. The more we feel helpless, the more we are rejecting our own divine power. The more we say, I'm in charge of my life, no matter if it's complete chaos right now, but I'm in charge. Just that realization, just saying, okay, I'm in charge, that gives you so much power and so much momentum and so much energy that is in your favor. It's like you tell your guides, yes, I'm ready. Or you tell God, I'm ready for what you have been planning for me. Like I'm finally in the driver's seat. But no one can put you in the driver's seat but yourself. So you have to get to the point where you get into the driver's seat. And if you need hypnosis, healing, help, any tool that you need to get you to the driver's seat, go for it. Because that's the most important part. If you need to invest in something, invest in whatever will bring you closer to you being in the driver's seat of your life. And really taking that responsibility for your healing, for who you are, for what you're creating. Because once you do and you say, okay, I created this, okay, I'm sick, or I have a sick body, I was part of this creation of this, it's not like you are just accepting it and just saying, oh, okay, I'm sick, so I can't do anything, or oh, I lost all my money, I can't do anything. No, it's saying, okay, this is a situation, this is something that I created. Let's change how I'm viewing things. Let's reprogram my mind. Let's reframe everything and do it from a place of power this time. So it's very similar to, when we go through a healing process or when we heal our inner child, that we're able to see how in that moment we didn't have the tools, we didn't have the knowledge to navigate certain things. But when we go into healing or therapy or counseling or whatever, and we become aware and we say, oh, I can heal this even now. Same thing with abundance, with creation. The moment that you become aware, that's the moment where you start creating. That's the moment that you start dictating and that you start influencing and impacting your own life more and more and more. And it's progression. Mm-hmm. The more aware you become, the bigger your impact is in your life. So just to put it in very practical ways, and Kay, you can tell me if there are any questions or anything, but if you are someone who, for example, is looking for love, or part of what you want to manifest is partnership, a beautiful, loving, healthy partnership, one of the things that you can do is either, help someone, let's say, manifest that, or, help bring people together who are similar, or just giving love and experiencing love in your life every day. So coming closer to that vibration of what you want to experience. There are many people who say, oh, I want to be in a beautiful, healthy partnership, but they're listening to music, for example, that is like broken-hearted music, or music where one person is putting the other down, and that creates this like dissonance in your own field, because you're not being coherent enough. There's not enough momentum in your belief system of what you want to manifest, because it's being interfered with belief systems that are coming against it. Most of the time, this happens unconsciously. So that is why it's important to be mindful of what you listen to, what you listen and what you say to yourself in your mind when no one is there. If you're wanting to manifest that partnership, for example, go into self-reflection and see, what do I think about partnership? Do I see myself as being worthy of that healthy partnership? Are there any fears there? Is there anything that I think about when I see happy, beautiful, healthy couples? Do I feel like, oh, that's amazing, I wish them love and I bless them? Or do I feel like, oh my God, why don't I have that? One of the things that will drop your vibration and that causes even lack is through the law of attraction. Of course, if you're wanting to be prosperous, you have to practice non-stealing. You'll always have to see the other side of a coin. If you want to be, successful, you can always help people become successful. Even if it's not you who you're helping directly to be successful, the fact that you're helping other people be successful, you are activating that vibration within you as well. And you're creating prosperity karma and being successful karma. So you can see what works for you, but it is not always a thing about me when we are creating. It's also honoring the fact that we are all in this interconnection. And the more I become generous, for me, if anyone comes to me and they ask for money on the street, I live in Mexico City. So here, a lot of people come when you're outside or wherever, and they ask for money to eat or to anything, charity. I always give whatever I have. I always try to have change, in my purse, and I always give it to them. And I've had many friends be like, why are you giving to them? They're probably going to use it for whatever, or for drugs, or for this and that. I always say, it doesn't matter. Like, the fact that they were there and that I am able to offer something that they don't have, and I'm doing it with a pure heart and with a pure intention, so that they can receive that as a part of what I am receiving. It's like part of keeping the receiving end or the flow alive. As I receive, as I become more prosperous, as I receive more abundance, I'm also able to give more. I'm also able to work with many other people. I'm also able to be more generous. It's not about I receive more and more and more, and I become less and less and less generous because now I want all the money for myself. That's the mentality that creates lack. And that's the mentality that a lot of people who become instant millionaires, let's say, who win the lottery, that's the mentality that doesn't allow them to actually keep that prosperity. That's why they, after a small period of time, either, they spend it all, or they don't know how to handle it, or they just give it away, or they literally, go straight into the same level where they were before that prosperity level, because they don't have the teachings integrated, and they don't have the knowledge of how to keep that flow of prosperity alive. And the way that you do that is not by stopping and hoarding, and because you block it, when you do that, but it's to keep on giving. I remember when just to give you like a real life example, but when I started studying with teachers, spiritual teachers, I was very, very young, and I was actually an art student. And I didn't have a lot of let's say, abundance in that time. And I wasn't really interested in creating that. I actually wanted to live this really like artist life and, I had all this other side to myself. But I remember when it came to spirituality and to teachings, I would always find a way. Like I would work with really great, incredible teachers. And people would be like, well, how are you paying those teachers? Like, how are you working with them? I would be like, I'm not paying them. Most of the times I would, I would tell them like, I really want to work with you. There's no way that I can work right now with you in that way, but I'm a painter. I can offer you my paintings. If you like anything of my art, let me show you. So I would go there. And, till this date, a lot of my spiritual teachers, they have paintings of mine or etchings or things hanging in their walls in their in their practice. And for me, it's a beautiful reminder that when there's a will, there's a way. I have people who I give scholarships to. I don't say it openly, but I am always there for people who are interested enough in coming and asking me for things, because I know how it's like. And if there's no blockage in your mind, even if you don't have the material abundance to do something or purchase something, you can always manifest a different way in which you can have access to that. If you are open enough and receptive enough, but also if you are willing to engage your masculine side, which is the part of, okay, how am I going to do this? What am I going to say? What action am I going to take? If I hadn't spoken out loud to all of these teachers, if I had just looked at the prices and been like, oh, I can't afford that, I'm not able to do that course. I remember with one of my teachers, I told him like, will you be my teacher? And he was a shaman, a Mexican shaman. He was like, yes. And I was like, okay, how can we do this? Like, what can we do? I cannot pay you in this way, but I can give you art or whatever. And he just looked at me and he was like, do you have a place where you can buy like organic butter? I was living in Germany and I was like, yes, of course. I was like, well, my wife loves organic butter from Germany. So just send me butter every month and I will teach you. I was like, what? I was like, okay. So I started sending him butter every month. And, but I would honor that. I would honor whatever we had pacted, just like in a very masculine way. Like, this is what we agreed on. This is a contract. And that's part of also having that abundance and prosperity karma. You have to be able to be integral. You have to be able to be straight as an arrow. Because the more you do, the more you're actually honoring the other person. You're honoring their work. You're honoring the fact that they took a chance on you, that they, maybe opened themselves up to this stream that you created, and they're co-creating with you in this experience. But once you start to receive it, you have to honor that. Many times people, when they start receiving, they're like, oh, I'm receiving, or they freak out, or they start to become like not integral anymore, or they forget, or they don't keep that whatever agreement was made for that to happen. And that's a part of us that has to be very, very aware and very to be very careful and honorable. There's a reason why in the old ways, the divine masculine, when we see the samurais, or when we see the knights, the Templar knights, or the ones who protected the queens or the kings or whatever. Like, I mean, there are many things that go into that, but if we can just bring that energetic of honoring, of what it means to honor a promise, even if it's something untangible, even if there is no material thing that is sealing that, your word, you honoring your word is so important, is everything, because that's who you are and who you're showing up to be in the world. One of my other teachers, he always said, if you are a man of your word or a woman of your word, if people can trust you, you are the most abundant person in the world. Because for a person who honors who they are, who honors other people, and who honors their word, if you say, I'm going to do this, then do it. Start practicing that, because that gives so much clarity and so much flow to your life when you start honoring your words. And if you're not going to honor them, don't say it. Because words are power. That's my second point with this whole teaching, that when we say something, or one of the reasons why people use writing for manifesting, it's because our words have that power. But we also have to be able to follow through with the action and with the honoring of those words. If you say, I'm going to do this by this time, you have to be able to follow through with action. It's not just about imagining things and visualizing. That's the first part. That's the yin part of the process, when we are birthing things, when we're still in the womb, we're creating, we're forming, we're shaping, we're giving it color and texture and everything. But then once it comes into the outside, we have to be able to catch the baby. We have to be able to catch the delivery, whatever you're spending so much time creating and energy and everything. You have to be able to take it, receive it with your hands. Mm-hmm. And part of that receiving means I am honoring this and I'm following through in the physical, in whatever way that is coming up for you. So, for example, you're manifesting a new job and you have been thinking about that new job, and you know the environment, you are vibrationally aligning with how you want it to feel. You have done all the magic part, all the yin part. Then you have to follow that with action. You have to be able to say, okay, I know what I want, so let me just go and look in the ads for work, or let me go put my resume out there. Let me go see if I find certain companies or positions where I want to apply, and apply, because if you don't apply, who's going to see you? And it's very simple. Like if you see people like us, like me and Kay, when we started our YouTube channel, we actually started similarly, I think, in time, like right at the same time almost. For me, my guides had been telling me like a year, start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I want to show up. I don't know if I want people to see me or hear me or whatever. And I remember the moment that I started, I never thought that that would be the place where I would grow so much, and that it would bring me to all of this, to this moment in time that we're co-creating right now. But there was this feeling of, yes, this feels good. This feels aligned. This is the first time that I can talk about the things that I have never been able to talk to other people. It's the first time that I'm being my true self, that I'm aligning with who I really am and who I have always been. And I don't have to hide anything anymore. And I don't have to, omit things, even if they sound crazy. If before the beginning, I was like very scared of like, what are people going to think about my light language? They're going to think that I'm crazy, or, that I'm talking, I don't know what, another language or dialect. My mother heard me recently and she was like, is that part of the, like, from the Native Americans? And I was like, well, of course there are some roots in there, but people will take things the way they take them. But the important thing is, how aligned are you with your authentic self? And how much are you willing to put yourself out there in the world, in the universe, to be seen, to be known, to be heard? Many of us as sensitive souls, we try to do everything not to be in that center stage. But when we say yes to God, to our spiritual path, to our mission, many times we are required to do precisely these things that we feared. that we were super scared of. And it doesn't mean that it's not, the right path. Many people say, oh, follow the path of least resistance. I had huge resistance to opening my YouTube channel. And you will, when you are becoming your authentic self, you will have to face all the resistance of your ego. That's why it's very important to understand, when is my ego resisting and when is my soul resisting? Like what is the difference? Mm-hmm. Because the path of least resistance for the soul is what feels good, what feels aligned, where I feel free, where I feel, and the soul will guide you. She will be like, let's go. Be brave, be courageous, take that step, say it, talk to that girl, talk to that guy, open your heart. And those are the things that once we do them, we are telling the universe, I'm acting on it. I am understanding that it's not just spiritual, but that it is also material, that I'm a conduit of divine alchemy. I am able to translate the spiritual into the physical. And when you see it that way, then you start to see also the physical as a beautiful playground and as a magical world where you get to experience anything that you want. And that's when you truly come into your artist, into your creative capacities. That's when you start to expand them. And that's when you start to master them. Okay. And the third tip, just before we go into the healing, when you're trying to generate, for example, prosperity, one of the things that I remember one of my teachers taught me was, and this was from Pranic healing, from Kriya Shakti. But it was basically, like when they say, like, tell me who you're with and I tell you who you are. It's not about other people that much, but it's about what is your energetic environment, and what is permeating your aura, what is permeating your field, and what do you want to manifest? Is it in balance with it? Is it, aligned with what you want to create? Because if you come, for example, from a background where you experience a lot of lack or poverty or not a lot of support, let's say, all of those imprints that probably your parents also felt, they are permeated, let's say, in your field. Mm-hmm. You have those memories who confirm that. You have, things that your parents said. You have the material evidence that you perhaps lacked in something. So we have to be able to release that and work with that. And you can work with that energetically through healing, to disintegrate and release those thought forms, to disintegrate and release all of the lack energy, all of the contracts, all of the karma, but especially all the energy of lack that is permeating your field, mentally, physically, spiritually, and in all ways, all those confirmations of that reality. So, for example, if you're wearing like really, really old jeans, or they have holes in them or whatever, even if you borrow, like new pants or whatever from another person, you could do that just to reaffirm to your inner self, we are not in that lack anymore. Look, I have these beautiful pants, even if you just borrow them, it doesn't matter, but you're working with your subconscious. So when we're reprogramming, there are many things that we can do to reprogram that. That would be one of the things that you can do that are small, but can change a lot. And the other thing is, if you're wanting to create more abundance, go to places where people who only have abundance energy in their field work or are. For example, you can go to a very fancy hotel, go to the lobby and order a coffee every day, even if you can only afford the coffee, or even if you just can't afford just sitting there a while, it doesn't matter, but go there if you can, and it has to be like a very, very expensive, abundant place where the majority of people who go and stay in that hotel, let's say, they have no idea or care in the world for money. So they don't have that lack mentality within them. And when you go there, you open your energy field and you say, I am impregnating my auric field and my field with all this prosperity energy. I am integrating all of this prosperity energy, all of these feelings of never having experienced any lack, of being super, super abundant. I don't, just having that ever flowing source of abundance flowing through you, not a care in the world, not a lack in the world. And this is not for you guys, or for anyone to become delusional or anything, but it's to energetically start to become aware and integrate the vibration of prosperity, to embody that vibration more and more, to be okay with it, and to allow your body to be replenished by that. And then your vibration shifts. And from there, you can actually start to manifest a lot more. Mm-hmm. So this is just a very random tip, but go practice it and let me know how it feels. Of course, practice makes perfect, and the more you practice these little things, you can actually create your own ways. These are just a couple of tips that I have here, but maybe for you, having a beautiful, delicious meal is super abundant. Or going to a particular restaurant that perhaps you weren't able to go to when you were a child. Go there, take yourself there, eat that meal, enjoy it, and be like, I receive this, I deserve this, I am in this energy now. There is nothing that is not allowing me to be that. And that's also how we create the best versions of ourselves. Even if you know that there's something that you're struggling with, or there's something that you would like to change, instead of going about it like the hard way, like, oh, you have to be like this or you have to be like that, you can just start energetically practicing. If I was that person, how would I feel? Like, what qualities does that better version of me have? And if I see those qualities in someone, even if it's a public speaker or a teacher or a friend or whoever, you can start to practice to be like them, to see how they speak, see how they hold themselves, see how they carry their energy, and start to attune energetically to the energy that they are holding. And then you will be able to allow or give permission to your energy to update to that version, but within yourself, within your originality, within your authenticity, within your uniqueness. But you can always use the examples that are outside. That's why when you see someone who has the thing that you wanted, or who's living the life that you think, oh, I would love to have that life, bless them. Bless them so much. Like, bless them. If they're super abundant, bless them with even more abundance. May God bless you with so much more abundance, with so much joy, with so much health, with so much happiness, with so much beauty, with so much integrity, with everything. Bless the people who have the thing that you lack, let's say, because they are there to show you and to bring you closer to that. They are modeling that energy for you so that you can tap into it and be like, oh. So that's how it looks like. I can also create that. Why wouldn't I be? And I can even create something bigger or better or more in tune to who I am, more aligned, even more aligned to who I am. And many times that is the path that actually creates our fullest and most authentic an expansive version of ourselves, when we stop, trying to be anything outside, and we actually start to become who we are. We surrender to our divinity, to our greatness, to our gifts when we start exploring. Many people say, oh, I wish I had these gifts. And like, you probably have them, but you haven't gone exploring. How are you going to know if you're good at this or not if you don't give yourself a chance? We can all do that. If you want to become a singer, go sing, sing in the shower, get a singing teacher, sing with other people. Just try it out. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad in the outside. What matters is that you're following your soul, your spirit, and also that creative energy that is within you. The more we generate that energy, and we have that, which is also part of our sexual energy, which is also the energy that keeps us alive here and healthy and whole and strong. The more we learn to play with that energy and to follow that impulse of energy, the less stagnancy there is, the less sadness there is. Because many times sadness or depression or feeling stuck, feeling lonely or feeling down, all of that comes because there's this stagnation of that creative energy. So every time you have a creative impulse, instead of following it, instead of responding to the inspiration, instead of taking action, you just let it pass by. And then it passes, and then it starts to create this blockage. But it's just the way of your body telling you, hey, let's start following our creative impulses again. Let's start following our divine path again, because we're here to do that. We're here to enjoy. We're here to create. We're here to serve. We're here to serve others. We're here to help. We're here to do so many things and to experience and to follow our souls, the path of our souls. So there's always something amazing that you can do. There's always an adventure waiting for you around the corner if you're willing to embrace it and say, yes, let's go now. And that thing, that immediacy of following that purpose, that also becomes stronger and stronger the more you practice it. Maybe in the beginning you have to force yourself, just like you have to force yourself to wake up when your alarm clock goes. But most of the people, and I was listening to this, that most of the more creative and successful and abundant people have that in common, that they have that 3-second rule. 1, 2, 3, go. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, yes, I'm going to do it. 1, 2, 3, yes, let's do this. Just like with me and Kay, she said, "Do you want to do it?" I was like, 1, 2, yes, of course. When life is offering things, when things come presented to you, it doesn't mean that you have to say yes to everything, but you can, if you know that it's something good for you, even like a cold shower, or a cold bath that a lot of people are doing nowadays. You don't do it because it's going to feel good and pleasurable. You do it because it's good for you, even if it feels really, really bad in the beginning. And that's the part that we also have to consider. And I think a lot of people sometimes omit that it's not comfortable. When you're growing, it's not comfortable. When we're children and we start growing, our bones hurt, our whole body hurts. You feel all awkward and, until you get adjusted to your height or to your new being, it's uncomfortable. And it's okay. But we don't say, oh, it's uncomfortable, I don't want to be in this body anymore. No, you just learn how to become comfortable with it. You learn how to roll with it. And part of manifesting is also that. Many times you'll be required to do things that are not comfortable, that are outside of your limits or comfort zone or belief systems or whatever. But as long as you're being true and holding that authenticity within yourself and holding that your divine truth present, when it's in your heart and your heart is telling you, go become a painter. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Whatever you want to do and create, you're able to do that. That is your divine gift, your birthright. So it's just a matter of you learning how to work with yourself, with your mind, with your body, with your talents, with everything that you were given, and start adjusting to that. The more you adjust, the more you align, the more it becomes very easy. And then you just, you just go with the flow. But it's a flow that is not always peaceful or restful. Sometimes the flow is staying up until 4 a.m., running like crazy. Just like Kay and I were speaking, like she's doing this, and all of these things have a lot of work that goes behind them. There's so much that goes behind the creation of anything. There are hours and hours of work, of planning, of theorizing, and all the work of all the people who are involved. And so it's a collective effort of so many things. And when we're doing it, we may get like, oh my God, I'm doing this, but it's so worth it. In the end, it's so worth it that we're able to share this, that we're able to create this. And also the thing that makes you become even more attuned with your creation is when you confirm for yourself, even if it's a small step, and you say, I'm going to do this, and you do it. You check that, you celebrate that, and you're like, I did it. So that's a confirmation in your field that you're able to do it. So guess what? Next time that you have to do something similar or even more or even bigger, you'll be like, oh, yes, I'm going to do it because last time I did the other thing and I was able to do it. So of course I'm going to do it. And that's how most of the people who advance a lot, who have a lot of success, who have a lot of abundance, and financial success, and even in partnerships, the more that you say yes and you're able to go and check that thing that you were saying that you were going to do, the more you have confirmation in your field. When I'm true to myself, things happen. If I commit, things happen. If I am brave, incredible things open for me. That is my experience. For me, that's why I created my program Brave, because being brave, just having that courage, to say yes and to be brave even when you feel completely the opposite of brave. That is the thing that for me in my life has opened so many doors and so many realities and timelines that I never even thought were possible. And I also come from a pretty hard background in many things, especially emotionally and in the physical body health wise. So never, allow anything outside of yourself dictate your possibilities. You, as a divine creative being, you say, and you can create timelines, you can create alternatives, you can create parallel realities where you can jump into. So you have all that you need to be able to move through anything. It doesn't matter what anything else outside is telling you. If you really believe, if you're really committed, you'll be able to change. Okay. So I think that's the message. Let me know, Kay, how are we doing? How are you feeling?
Wonderfully. Absolutely wonderful. I'm so glad that you you really brought, and I'm glad you started with that alchemy of divine feminine and masculine, because everything that you said right after that provided such clarity around here's how the masculine within us shows up. It gives, it is brave, it outward projects. And then here's how the feminine component at this step shows up. It receives, it follows the flow. It's in receptive energy coming to and receptive toward outflowing as well. There was this balancing of the two in everything that you shared. And I think the nuance to it was descriptive enough to help all of us see, oh, that's where I could work on that. I see this is where I get stuck, or this is where I can grow. I tend to struggle, or I'm uncomfortable at that particular step. So I'm really glad you laid it out with such nuance for us, because that I think one of the things we all want to manifest or create stuff, and we reach for these external tools. What's the affirmation, or what's the mantra, or what's the script, or what's the visualization? And the tools are great. But I think you've just really illuminated for many, when they're working the tools but not getting results, these are the things that we can work on internally that foster an opening. So I'm glad that you mapped this out for us. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So happy
Mm-hmm.
to do that, to be
Yeah.
able to share that.
You know, it's funny because there was one question in the chat. Are you up for taking questions now or later?
Of course. Yeah, sure.
There's one question in the chat, and I think it's not, one person asked it, but I noticed this a lot in many people, including myself. The phrasing she provided was, do you have tips for practicing receiving abundance and blessings? And if we were to take it out of the context of abundance and blessings and just go to the act of receiving, because we live in a culture that really champions what you're able to do, what impact you can have, what can you give, what can you produce, right? So being in the receptive mode and really noticing when is giving actually occurring. It can be a real challenge for some people, even just receiving a compliment. Right?
Yeah.
Tips for receiving.
Let me see. I'm just channeling also into the energy of hers, because well, part of the receiving is also practicing to breathe in, right? So receiving is when we're breathing in. So many times receiving in the beginning stages means being able to give to ourselves, which is paradoxical. But it doesn't really matter who is the giver in a way, because, if you are in need of something, it doesn't really matter who is able to provide that particular energetic for you. So like if someone is hungry, they don't care who the person is who's giving bread to them, they'll take the bread anyway. So one of the beautiful things when we come into this into this part of receiving is that we can purposely activate our receiving qualities, let's say, by actively giving to ourselves. So if I want to receive support, and a lot of my divine feminines, we work a lot in this with the goddess energy. And it's not like, just like the goddess, and like there's a lot of the goddess out there also, but the real energetic of the goddess is also being sovereign and having that abundance of resources, and really of being able to birth and create anything into existence. So when we tap into that divine feminine energy within ourselves, we can become the vessels, but we can also become the love and the energy that pours in through us. Many times, if you have difficulties receiving from the outside or from other people or from loved ones or whatever, it's a good thing to start with yourself, to say to yourself, you are beautiful. I am beautiful. I am incredible at this. I am a really good listener. Oh my God, I'm really good at listening. Doesn't matter, but starting to see slowly, starting to see your gifts, your capacities, your talents. The more you recognize them, the more other people will be able to recognize them, and therefore they will be able to benefit from them. So giving to yourself is actually giving to a lot of people, is giving to the world. But the thing is, when you're giving to yourself, you have to be able to receive that. So in a way to receive that would be to say to yourself and then wait for the response in your body. I am beautiful. Does my body go like, oh, I'm not, no. Does it go like that? Or does it say, yes, I am? And if you even, this is just some of the things that I practice sometimes with my divine feminines. Open your arms, open your legs, open everything. Just put yourself in a receptive state. You can even practice in somatic practices, to hold an open posture or a posture of power where you can receive. Even, doing like this mantra, where we have our hands open, or you put your hands open in your lap and meditating, and then after you meditate, just allowing 10 minutes to just receive. To say, okay, I talked to the divine, or I prayed, or I asked, or I solved, but then there has to be a moment where you just stop doing anything so that you're able to receive. So starting with those 10 minutes can help. And then also giving to yourself, like, setting a bath for you, bringing flowers for you. I know it sounds very cheesy or whatever, but for many of us, especially as divine feminine, when we have been conditioned to always allow the masculine to give to ourselves, or to not be as proactive in that, if we don't have a current masculine or a current figure that is actually providing that giving to us, then we start to shut down from the outside, because we say, oh, I'm not receiving this, so I'm just going to shut down. It's like when you haven't been on a date for a long time and you get there and you're like, oh my God, I'm a bit rusty, like, what? So we have to be able to unrust ourselves in the act of giving and receiving love, especially because abundance is love. The vibration of love is the highest. It's the most, the one that is most together with prosperity, with abundance, with money, with anything that is in material resources. The frequency of love is the highest. So the highest, let's say, amount that you can receive will align according to that. So giving, allowing to give yourself love, if you're not receiving it from anyone else, to start practicing giving it to yourself, but also practicing especially the part of, how do I feel when I give this to myself? Can I receive? Can I relax in the bathtub? Can I really give myself 20 minutes to rest? And can I really honor that rest? Can I honor, my spiritual work? Part of why we have these, like, for example, what I do with the ceremonies for the goddess, I do that because it's something that is there all the time. Like, it doesn't matter if it rains or whatever it is. We know that every full moon, there is a ceremony, there is a time and a space for you to just receive. So that, even if you don't know exactly what you're going to receive, but just knowing that you're giving yourself that time for yourself, having it in a schedule, having it in your daily activities, having that time for, I'm going to receive this. I'm going to receive a massage. I'm going to receive, whatever it is that you can practice it, but consciously, actively. And then you will see that the more you give to yourself and you do it regularly, the more other people will start giving to you as well. So you activate that also outside. And usually when you have been practicing to give to yourself and you're becoming more comfortable in receiving, you will automatically start to to receive things in that, because you're already activating that grace. Mhm. I don't know if that was specific enough. Let me know if you want me to go more into detail.
I love that. It's wonderful. It's a perfect answer. And I really love that when you provide answers for folks, you actually tap into the person who's asking to make sure that your answer it provides the spoken and unspoken piece of where the question comes from. So thank you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
So you want to do the healing, and then we will get into the final, we'll see if there's any final questions.
Okay, sure.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Okay, so for everybody out there who hasn't done healing with me, if you want, you can just sit down comfortably, or you can also lay down and relax. Just make sure your arms and legs are not crossed so you can receive the energy. Okay, and I will also speak light language probably, or tone, or sing. So that's part of the healing. It's part of how I activate and deactivate codes, things, frequencies. And for everybody who's here, we're just going to do a big clearing, especially I feel to like clear the energy for lack that comes from unworthiness. Like I am, like, why would I be able to receive this? Like, it's kind of like, why would God choose me? And guess what? God chose you. The divine chose you, because otherwise you wouldn't be here with us right now. So you're already chosen. But we're just going to work with bringing that knowing more into the soul, at the soul level. Yeah, and we're also going to just clear your fields from anything that outdating programming that we can release now, and activate more of your abundance and integrity codes. And just start reweaving from the inside, and bringing also the feminine, masculine energetics within you to start to cooperate and to build and create together. Mm-hmm. So if they were, split or, going different directions, we're also going to bring them back into oneness. Okay. So you can just close your eyes, take a deep breath. One more time, close your eyes and take a deep breath. And one more time, taking a deep breath in. Breathing in deeply and starting to fall into your central channel. Starting to see your beautiful central channel, this column of light, or pillar of white light or golden light. Seeing how it's a stream of this beautiful light flowing from your crown, from the cosmos, the universe, all the way down into your feet, to Mother Earth. Continuing to take a deep breath. We're going to call in all of your angels, your guides, the guidance system. Bring in the elementals of your body and fields. Bring in all of your higher guidance, all your teams of love and light. And we're going to clear any negative energies, anything that is not meant to be in your field this present time. We're going to bring a beautiful dome of this beautiful violet light and protection to encircle you, to surround you in the space where you are. Bring all the sacred codes of protection through the violet flame. And we're going to ground all of you. You're properly grounded on earth, activating your grounding cords and optimizing and actualizing your grounding mechanisms, the way that you're grounded on this earth, and clearing any negative energies or curses within your family line, family tree in regards to your grounding, to your capacity to be in this here and now, present and aware, in the full capacity of your soul's expression and light, clearing any interference. And we're going to start to retrieve these beautiful sparks of a flame. If and wherever there was any soul fragmentation or any energetics that had split from your field, through this and other lifetimes and other timelines, we're just going to bring them back. Arikyam Salitam Shum. Very good. And activating through the infinity symbol. Starting to increase your eternal light. And starting to open through the left side of your body into the divine feminine. Bringing this beautiful ruby red tone into the left side of your body and field. And we're going to bring these streams of golden light, bring these beautiful threads of golden light to start reweaving, to start repairing all of your frequency bands, and starting to clear and quantumly repair all of the structure of your energetic channels. Starting to repair all of the energy channels within your physical body and system. Repairing any damage through the soul's journey. Activating reparation through the cells, through the molecules, through the water, and starting to recode all of the liquids within the body, starting to bring in this beautiful light alchemy into the cells, and starting to prepare and to open, to bring in the appropriate frequency for you and all of the unique codes that you need to activate through the cellular and through the water bodies, that translate into understanding the alchemy of manifestation. It increases your capacity to translate the spiritual into the physical. It allows you to clean, clear, and restore and repair your original frequency, sound, and vibration. Sha'ani Dhammasete Sha'ati Uni Reha Dasha. Activating beautiful sacred geometries to start to recode all of your divine feminine energies, expanding all of your receptivity, increasing the capacity of your receptors, changing and clearing any receptors that need to be changed, cleared, actualized. And we're also going to clear any permeability in your field. So starting to hold more of your divine power and knowledge, no matter what the circumstances are outside. So you're able to hold your frequency longer, more steady, free, sovereign, calm. And you're saying equipped. Very good. And starting to tune into the frequency of the heart of union, the garden of your soul. Just going in there and starting to see how all of this already exists here in the space. All of the abundance, all of the freedom, all of the joy, all of the divine love is already here. All of the miracles are already manifested here. Now we're going to open to the right side now, through the masculine. Seeing a beautiful blue, crystal blue light come into the right side of your body and your field. And we're going to release any fears and blocks of expressing, of becoming from the throat. Any negative projections through the throat and the pineal gland. Any compromised visions. Anywhere the soul light being was disillusioned or disappointed. So we're also going to the inner child or the divine masculine. Going into repairing all of the internal wounds, all of the possessiveness and eagerness to possess, the feminine or material acquisitions, clearing possession from their fields and from the field of the divine feminine. Bring back this beautiful divine white light and golden light into the awareness, conscious, subconscious, unconscious mind of the feminine and masculine. Bring back the integrity of the divine couple and the divine union and coupling, divine relationship and repertoire between both energetics. Clearing out any manipulation, any obsession, any parts of the masculine or the feminine who maybe tended to take advantage of things. I'm starting to bring everything back to neutral. Bring the mind back to neutral. Bring the heart back to neutral. And starting to open and to align to your own prosperity gates. starting to open all of your prosperity fields. And you're all going through a heart purification. And it's sort of like a mandatory cleansing so that you're able to access these creational fields. And just purifying, aligning your intentions with the high heart, with the higher mind, with the higher soul. It all is done through your higher awareness, through your higher soul, through your higher self, and even yourself as an ascended light being. Areka mushatsa areta kya, shriya ayakam seyeta amikya. Clearing also all of the lines of communication between the feminine and masculine. Starting to build team effort again within the cells, within the body alchemy, within your fields, within the fields of knowledge, fields of prosperity, of expansion, the fields of divine love and divine wisdom. Repairing through your original inception to your tree of life. Bring beautiful designs and templates to repair and align and correct your field to your highest mission, purpose, realigning you to divine direction. And from there, starting to feel how you, as you align with your true self, with your higher authority, with your divinity, with your higher intuition, higher knowledge, automatically you start to receive profound support, profound wisdom from your guides, from your angels, from God directly. You start to receive support from the cosmos, from the stars, from your star seed lineages, from your ancestors within this time frame or beyond. Cha'akia set oyanikia mush'aratekia. Seire auro kumia sao tushpiakim. Sea umase ukuya tasao sha'ao terinia. Shea umasi. We're activating a beautiful golden spiral that is starting to cleanse your field from any codes that are obsolete, that are no longer working, just taking up space within your field. Starting to run all of the programming, recalibration. I'm starting to bring in the energy of divine joy into this moment, into your body. Divine presence and knowing. There's a lot of energy of fulfillment. Just receiving energetically what it's like to feel satisfied, fulfilled, completely and utterly provided for, supported, guided, completely sovereign, completely resourceful, joyful. You're also increasing your capacity to make decisions for your higher self, to receive that divine intuition and guidance. When you're making decisions, clearing out any doubts and decision about the steps you want to take, about gaining forward momentum, about feeling free to do so, clearing any and all old contracts, karmic impressions, imprints, and programs of slavery, of lack of freedom, lack of assertion within your field, and also wherever any of your creational codes were stolen, and also wherever the divine feminine or divine masculine were attacked, imprisoned, chased, persecuted. Sharoko to set Emma Kaade Dia Shaatavare Hit Ayakya Eya Hayakya Mush Adeya Ayaha. Clearing all multidimensional curses, Shatsa Sediums A Tiash Ayama Eti Tiola Shao Dimasai Shi. I'm starting to reawaken all the beautiful codes of divine magic, pure, divine, authentic, integral magic. Ayushya Shaya Masi. Alchemy Ba'aditium Ashia. Through the beautiful white flame, Ayukyum Shia Sai. Okay, and activating through your council of light within your consciousness, within the rational mind, within the divine heart, within the human heart and the human mind. And starting to atone and integrate between the human and the divine self, keeping all lines completely clear and pristine, keeping all of the communications completely cleared and protected. And also clearing any bypassing within the fields of receiving and hearing. If there was any tampering with the way that we hear and receive input from the outside, I'm going to clear this, clearing the ears, clearing the interpretations, resetting all to its divine original blueprint. And clearing and releasing any outside influences that are not serving you anymore. Clearing and releasing any parasitic energies and any interconnectedness that is not propelling or conducive to your field and to the light within your field. Clearing and dismantling all false lights, false pretension, false creation. And starting to see these beautiful seeds of light starting to grow as your divine way of creating, the way that is nurturing, inspiring, authentic, and powerful to you, to your field, that allows the divine feminine and divine masculine within you to thrive, to succeed, to be inspired, to move forward, to advance, to change, to grow, to experience. And we're just going to clear any dark magic curses. We're also clearing anything that had to do with the witch trials and saying those Salem, and also for the divine masculine, all of this energy of black or dark sorcerers, source magic, black or dark magicians. Okay, and re-templating through these beautiful druid gates, through these portals in England, through the gold and the new emerald codexes, continuing to code these new emerald fields and golden fields, continuing to create and to balance the fuchsia and the turquoise. These are all the creational fields. Very good, allowing the feminine, masculine to play, to create, to dance together. And bring back that sense of joy, magic, and wonder into all of you who are willing and wanting to receive now. Okay, and we're going to seal all through the heart of one. Sealing and protecting, upgrading your protection. Shields, fields, mechanisms, actualizing through the one and all. It is done, it is done, it is done. So it is. You're blessed, and so it is. Thank you. And you can stay there a little bit longer. Just starting to breathe in deeply. Allowing your body, your mind, your fields to do all the necessary adjusting, healing, clearing, repairing, activating, to sing easily and gracefully. And we're going to ask that all excess energy is released out of your field, that you only receive exactly the right proportion for you at this particular time. And anytime you do this healing. And we're going to ask that you release everything that is no longer yours, that you're willing and able to release now for your highest good. So it is. And so very slowly and gently, you can start to return into your body, into the physical awareness of your body. Breathing in, and starting to feel your toes, your fingertips. And if you want, you can just give yourself a gentle massage. If you feel any stiffness anywhere, just start to massage your body, your arms, your legs. And when you're ready, you can just put your hands on your heart and start to breathe in deeply. I am here and now. I am blessed. I am aware. I am divine love. I am healed. And all is possible. Very good. So let me know how you guys are feeling if you want. I would love to hear from you. Let me know how you're doing, Kay.
Oh, I am in such a blissed out place. I'm low
Good.
key like, oh man, I just want to take a nap now. I just want to go to sleep. That was powerful.
Yeah, you did a lot of collective cleansing. Very good. And
Really
yeah,
potent.
everybody can just relax, maybe take a little nap and drink a lot of water, please, everybody, so you digest this better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Denise says, thank you, Lana. As always, that was beautiful. Sending lots of
Hi,
love and
Venice.
light. Heather says, aho. And Jay says, thank you, Lana. So beautiful. You both are amazing. Uh, Elska Johansson says, amazing. Thank you. Victoria says, thank you, Lana. Lots of gratitude here in the chat for that.
Thank you.
Denise says, amazing. I experienced warmth and could feel energy cleanse through the chakras and oneness. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I definitely always feel the movement of energy anytime you open up the fields and connect. It is so powerful and potent. Moj says, thank you, Lana. Mel, thank you. Victoria, so grateful. Triple Emmers, thank you. There's so much gratitude. That was wonderful.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kay. Thank you so much for
Mhm.
everybody who's here doing this work. As we do this, we also grow together, we heal together, and we're not alone. None of us. Sometimes it looks that way, but we're actually not. So it's wonderful to come together and do this together.
Yes, it really is. Oh my goodness. What a gift.
Oh.
How do you feel? Anything you noticed or wanted to share from what you saw?
Um, it was interesting because we cleared some. It's like, many light workers, maybe in other lifetimes, have used their gifts for. I mean, we all have, we have sometimes been on the light side, sometimes we have been more on the dark side. So it was interesting that in the subject of creating and when we started to talk more during the healing of bringing in divine alchemy and divine magic, we actually cleared a lot of the fields of magic that had been corrupted. So it was like bring back the purity to manifesting without coercion or without somebody else getting hurt because of that. So bringing a lot of stability and integrity back into the fields of creation. And I think that will help a lot of you guys, magical beings, to be able to use more of your creative powers and abilities and to feel more empowered as a sensitive being. So yeah, that was part of what was very interesting.
I'm grateful to hear that because there's so much like unwarranted individual guilt or shame about creation that
Yeah.
we can carry because it's just already in the field from others misusing the energy.
Yeah.
So I love knowing that we got to heal that today. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
or even not even realizing when we ourselves have misused it. I love knowing that we got to heal that today. So that's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay. So the moderators have placed, thank you, Kylie, Lana's YouTube information in the chat. And there's a pinned comment at the top from Kylie with her podcast information and her website and her Instagram. Her platforms are wonderful ways to stay connected with her. And in addition to, I think it's new moon and full moon, you do healings for the
Full
collective.
moon.
Yes. Full moon. She does
Full moon.
healings with the collective. Her newsletter describes and invites you to those. She also runs workshops and classes for you to be able to tap more into your divinity or your divinic abilities. So definitely check her out. This healing will remain in the playlist for you guys if you want to come back to this, the Creator Conference playlist. You are welcome to re-listen at any time. And if you're new or just joining, definitely hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Our next interviewees are extraordinarily wonderful. We will be joined by Natalie from Your Affirmation Station, and she'll be expanding on a concept that Lana spoke about earlier, and that's the power of our words to create worlds. And that will be tomorrow. We'll also have a lovely interview from Agnes Vivarelli, who's a bit of a legend in the manifestation community here on YouTube and elsewhere. She's got wonderful manifestation meditations. So I hope you'll join us for that conversation. We'll be talking about the core components of manifesting love. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Lana, thank you so much for
Thank you
joining. It
so
was great to
much.
have you.
Thank you, as always, for doing this work, darling. You're wonderful. And I miss you already. I'm
I
so glad we
received
got
that.
to connect. Yeah.
Me too. Me too. Ooh,
Thank you.
Kylie, before we go, Kylie says, can you ask Lana about the retreat? You have a retreat coming. I'd love for you to share the details if you're able.
Yeah. It's a goddess retreat, so it's going to be for divine feminine only this time. And it's going to be in Mexico, in very magical place in the mountains in November. It's, I think, the first week of November. But we haven't even put that out there yet. I don't know how she knew, but it's good.
That's Kylie. She knows
Yeah.
things sometimes.
But we will put more like detailed information. I will put it in my website and newsletter. If you guys want to know more, you can subscribe there, and then you will definitely get the details of it.
Amazing. Anytime you can spend time with Lana in person, it's also extraordinary. Definitely had some in-person healings with her, and whew, life-changing. Thank you for that, sister. Appreciate you
Oh,
being here.
thank you, beautiful. Oh. Send you
Awesome.
a big hug. And I hope this also replenished everyone's energy for this week. We
Yes.
have a lot going on.
Yes, absolutely. All right, everyone.